Hello and welcome to Real Life Behind the Scenes. This will be a new series on the channel where we take a look at all the real life stories behind the movies and TV shows we all know and love. Today we are going to be looking at the movie The Orphan from 2009. Now, if you don't know about this movie, you should probably go watch it before you watch this video, because there are many spoilers ahead. Don't worry, we'll wait for you. Back? Okay, perfect. Just in case you forgot or you decided not to watch the movie, I'll give a quick plot summary. The Orphan is a movie about a couple who lost their newborn baby. Devastated by their loss, they went to an orphanage to find a replacement for their unborn child. There they find 9-year-old Esther, who they take a liking to and decide to adopt. After the adoption, many strange occurrences happen at their home. The mother starts doing her research and starts seeing a trend with Esther. Everywhere she goes, tragedy just seems to follow. At the end of the movie, it was revealed that Esther is actually a mid-30s woman with a special disease that made her look like a child. She was getting psychiatric help at a local asylum when she decided to make her escape. Running from the hospital, she decided to take advantage of her strange disease. She would then enter orphanages to meet parents and then try to seduce the father of the couple that had adopted her. When she would fail, she would kill both of the parents and then burn the house down. The end. Very uplifting stuff. But this can't be true, can it? Klara Maarova was born in Czechoslovakia in 1975. Since she was young, she showed signs of schizophrenia and said that she had visions similar to the ones that Joan of Arc had, giving her a divine task to accomplish. She met a man and they had 2 children together, Andrej and Jakub. Klara was very young when she had them, and the father would sometimes abuse her physically and mentally. Soon after the children were born, the father of the boys left her and the children. But the abuse of the man had already taken its toll on Klara. The woman developed a difficult and aggressive character, leaving the little ones in a dangerous situation. However, Klara was an excellent mother. After the separation of her partner, she became really depressed because of it, so she asked her little sister to move in with her and take care of the boys together. Katerina, Klara's younger sister, also had some signs of mental illness, but doctors said it was due to the long time spent with her sister. Soon after Klara and her children moved into Katerina's house, the sisters met Barbara Skurlova at the university, a 33-year-old woman who looked like a 13-year-old girl because of a very rare disorder called hypopituitarism.
She has a rare hormone disorder. It's called hypopituitarism. It causes proportional dwarfism. She only looks like a child. According to our records, Lena Klammer was born in 1976. She's 33 years old.
Barbara was very skilled at manipulating, and that's what she did with the 2 sisters. They became really good friends because of all their tragic childhood stories. Barbara convinced the sisters to let her move in with them. Years before meeting Klara and Katerina, Barbara had been hospitalized for several years in a psychiatric center because she had made herself known as an orphan child to a family that wanted to adopt her. But after a while, they realized her condition and sent her to an asylum. Without knowing this, the sisters accepted the woman into their home. But Barbara faced strange episodes in which she behaved like a little girl and then going back to a mature woman, which she really was. Still, the sisters loved Barbara, but the children did not. The sisters would go to university and work and have Barbara look after them. And once the sisters left, Barbara would beat the children and rip out their hair. When Klara would return, Barbara would tell her how troublesome the children had been while she was gone. Klara, tired of the supposed misbehavior of her children, was convinced by Barbara to give them a severe punishment so that they could learn not to disobey them by torturing them. The sisters and Barbara built an iron cage in the basement and put the little boys inside fully naked with no food for several months. The boys were beaten, malnourished, and tortured. Barbara seemed to enjoy watching this the most. The children were discovered when their neighbor installed a TV baby monitor to keep watch on his newborn child. But it just so happened to pick up a signal from an identical monitor next door, showing one of the victims being beaten, naked, and chained in the cellar. The sisters and Barbara installed it so they could watch their victims suffering from the comfort of their kitchen. The next day, when the women went out, the neighbor broke into the house and found one of Clara's son, 8-year-old Andrej, bound and naked in a closet of Katarina's house. The neighbor then called police. When the police arrived, the women refused to let them inside, but after forcing entry, they went down to the basement, and what they found was one of the worst crime scenes they had ever seen. The 2 children were in the cage, and in front of it was an innocent-looking little girl crying. The little girl asked for help from the authorities and said that her name was Annika and that she was adopted by these savage women who enjoyed abusing their children. The little girl was sent to a children's home in which she disappeared that same night. This supposed little girl was in fact Barbara. Later in the investigation, a video camera was intercepted by the same neighbor who had found the boys to begin with. On the film were the scenes from the torture of the children. Some of the woman's abuse included putting out cigarettes on the children, whipping them with belts, drowning them until they passed out, and even a video partially skinning the 8-year-old Andrej and eating his raw flesh. Barbara talked about wanting to fatten them up just like Hansel and Gretel and commit even more cannibalistic acts while filming it with the camera. This put the nail in the coffin. The police were on to Barbara. Now they just had to catch her. However, for many years, the sisters defended Barbara by asserting that her real name was Annika and that they had adopted her. However, months after they arrived at prison, they accepted and even blamed the woman. In 2009, Barbara was found in a house of a couple who had adopted her in Norway, but this time her name was Adam and was supposedly a genius child. The family never suspected this, but they confessed that he suffered from severe attacks of depression and anxiety, just like Barbara. After finding her in the house of this couple, the woman was captured and was sent back to Czechoslovakia for her trial. At trial, she was given a sentence of 12 years for posing as a child to the family in Norway and in relation to the child abuse case in 2007. However, she was released in late 2012 on good behavior, and no one knows her whereabouts to this day. But now I want to know what you guys believe. Is it Barbara's fault for taking advantage of the sisters' mental illness? Or should the sisters take responsibility? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe for more great content. We do all the research so you don't have to. And as always, I'm Alex, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
And it cuts deeper than the roots of the trees that we planted in the graveyard. I don't think these scars will ever fade off. Good thing nothing seems to faze us. So numb, we've become so numb.